One that I thought of recently was a scenario on, when you're working with young men, um, the ownership, the everything can be right and everything can be wrong when instructing somebody, but it's the buy-in that makes it right. And if it's something that's wrong or appear to be wrong, it's the buy-in that makes it right. Um, there was one experience that I had as a coach that really woke me up to some things, and it was when a young man came to visit me while at the University of Oklahoma, and it was Luke Hoechevar. And as I was writing up a practice plan, and he was visiting for the day because Luke played at Tennessee, and he was visiting in Norman. He was sitting right behind me, and as I'm figuring out a practice plan for the Oklahoma Sooners, he said, "Hey, Chief, um, goals are overrated." And I said, "Yeah, yeah." And he says, "No, no." He says, "Coach," he says, "goals are overrated in the sense that it's not about like climbing the Mount Everest. That's a good goal." He says, "But it's not about the Mount Everest. It's about each step that you take that gets you to the top of Mount Everest. You got to focus on the day-to-day grind." Now, I'm listening to this story, and you've got to think, it's about the day-to-day and out grind that gets you there. So goals are overrated. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then he pulls a, "So what do you think? What do you got on that, Chief?" And I turned around and I said, "Well, I couldn't agree more with you, Luke, being that I told you that 3 years ago." And to see Luke's face, like, "Oh, you did tell me that, and I just plagiarized it." And right then, to the look on his face, I went, "Hey, no, 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 no." And thankfully, at that moment, I was able to, "Hey, no, no, Luke, that was awesome." I said, "Matter of fact, when I told you, I think I told you about going back to Colorado, that it wasn't just simply getting to Colorado, it was each mile that you drove." And he goes, "Man, I loved that Mount Everest story. And I love the steps to it because now you're climbing up." I said, "Hey," and then he started bowing up again. And at that moment, when he left my office to head out to the field and I was going to trail behind him, I told myself, never again will I attempt to notify someone of that type of credit. Luke had taken ownership of something and made it not only his own, but made it better. And it didn't need no clarification from me to say, "Hey, wasn't I the one that I shared that with you?" And I said, "I'm never going to do that again."
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to let us know what you think in the comments. And join in the conversation around this topic and more in the forum.